Oh, I think it's a grower. I think it's a grower. Oh, it is a grower. It's a grower. It's a grower. Ah.
Hello, what's going on? From SoapBox, my name's Esteban Suarez, and this is Behind the Music, where we go into the story behind making music and those who support musicians. I'm joined here by EKO. You can find him on all social media platforms, but on Instagram at @1EKO_official. He's just released his debut, Black Rose, featuring Lushdoll. And EKO, it's wonderful to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to this, but
we'll get through it. I'm going on the journey with you here. It's gonna be a pain in the ass.
Oh my god.
So tell me, how are you with hot food?
Me, from when I was a baby.
Yeah.
My mother's Italian, my dad is Ghanaian,
yeah.
So I have two different palates.
Mm-hmm.
But from when I was small, I've never been good with spice.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been good with hot food, so I don't know what's gonna happen today, but we're gonna do this and we're gonna see what happens.
I always found that musicians have two personalities to them. If you look at Superman, he's got Clark Kent, Eminem, Marshall Mathers, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance EKO versus Alessandro?
Good question. I think I only discovered EKO about 2-3 years ago. When I was younger, I had a lot of family members who would call me EKO.
Mm-hmm.
And I was brought up and my dad gave me that name. It's my middle name, which means it means son born on Thursday. Just before lockdown, before things started getting, I kind of I found my own kind of counter personality and someone to kind of to just a persona to have, especially if I wanted to get into music. And I thought, wow, what name can I come up with? Like what? And I'm just like, I don't need to come up with a name. I already got one. EKO.
On that idea of becoming, right? Becoming who EKO is. What inspired you to get started into music? Was there a person, an event, an ambition, a vision that you had in terms of you want to change the game? Or was it just something that you did?
Back, so it was August 2020 lockdown. We just got into it. We were getting into it, and one of my teachers from my secondary school, called Miss J. She was also good friends with my mum, and so she sent my mum over a link to this music production course for 1 week at this youth centre. Obviously, I'd never heard of it before. In a week, I got to meet this group of other young people. There was 2 groups we had, and one group wrote 6 songs and another group wrote 6 songs in a week time, and we ended up calling the project 6 Days of Magic. And I had the pleasure of being able to come up with the name, which is sick. And it was just an experience. I love the idea of getting together with people I didn't know and writing songs and writing stuff about how I was feeling at that time.
Passionate people coming together, right?
Exactly. And for me, that's always been the thing that that's one of my favorite aspects of making music, of being able to come together and not just work by I enjoy working by myself sometimes, but I think it's the special part of it is being able to collaborate, work with other people, get them involved in what you're doing, get visions, get opinions, and be able to just come together and create, because we're always stronger together as a team.
Definitely.
I've always believed that.
What do you do outside of music that kind of gives your mind a break?
I like to. Do you know what? I think self-care for me has always been it's always been important. I've realized how important it is now, especially being a creative and being understanding mental health and self-care and how important it is for yourself, and that that you're the most important person in your life.
How does it also come back into music too? How does that break actually make you better at getting over writer's block?
It's simple as there's a producer a really influential producer who I followed for a while, and called Kenny Beats, and he said the simplest thing is take a walk.
Really?
They're like, if you ever are in that situation where you're feeling like, I I can't lie, like I don't really know what to write about, or I don't know what to, and it happens all the time as creative. It can happen all the time, you know, maybe not all the time, but it can happen, you know. And it's a thing where you don't have to force it, you have to let it be. And so things like taking a walk, going and having conversations with people, like Kendrick Lamar as well, he said this in an interview with Rick Rubin. He was like Rick Rubin asked, like, what's this kind of stuff that inspires you, like what is it that he's like, being able to have conversations with people like I grew up with in my hood or in my area, like, you know, that's the type of stuff that I might have been in, he says, like, I might have been in the studio for like 12, 13, 14, 15, up to 20 hours, and I just need a break. Like, I'll just go out and just have a conversation with someone and understand that person, and then be able to then come back into the studio and kind of bring that story back to life, and be able to bring that feeling back to life.
So the internet can almost be a double-edged sword, right? You can find just as much of a breakthrough as you can get drowned out into the noise. How have you used the internet to kind of make those leaps and bounds? And do you think it's been actually helpful or hindering towards your success?
I think it helped.
Yeah.
Because the amount of people you can reach is obviously like amazing. Like you can reach such a wide audience like through simply one post or one thing and one message, and it's like, I feel like that is really powerful, and that's a powerful thing about, obviously sometimes there can be more engagement, sometimes there's less engagement, but you know, in them situations, like when, for example, releasing Black Rose and having had, thank you very much for those amazing clips that you helped me do, like things like that attracts people's attention, and that like shows also a level of like professionalism and maturity, like in terms of music, like having that stuff out. So all of that stuff, it makes your Instagram page look also a lot more attractive, and a lot more attractive for like people to go and watch and click. So it's like, it does make an impact, and I feel like if I didn't have Instagram, I could still be doing music, and I could still use it as a way to, you know, to communicate, but it might not be as efficient, and it might not be as attention grabbing as having having social media, Twitter, whatever, and TikTok, Instagram.
Good though. That's so mild.
Yeah, not bad. It's not as bad as actually, I don't know. Alright, you know what? I was gonna go for the milk. I'm not gonna go for the milk.
No, I'm not gonna go for the milk. Alright.
I'm not gonna go for the milk.
Alright. Let me move on here to the yeah, it's coming. Alright. I'm gonna start a recurring segment where it's called Explain That Gram, okay? So first one is, I see you playing with like a million buttons here. Do you have any idea what you're doing here, or are you just going for it?
No
idea.
I had absolutely no idea. All I remember was this is a church studios, so it's based in Crouch Hill. So they brought a group of us young people down to church studios to spend a day. We recorded. I mean, artists like Adele,
really big
like
ones,
Stormzy, Santan Dave, people like this, people who have been there, recorded in that same booth that I was in. Adele wrote Adele and Paul Epworth wrote like Rolling in the Deep and like 007 James Bond theme, literally where I'm sat. So it's like, it was a really impactful picture for me, because it's like the greatest of greats have been able to use that mixing machine and that mixing desk to create their work, and it's just and I really like the black and white and the whole feel of it. So I just thought I'd put that as like first post on the gallery, and but I had no idea what I was doing.
I know being an artist, right? You're always performing, but here you went and you took the other side of the podium, where you actually went and helped create an event for artists. How was it being on the other side of the spectrum?
It's actually a really good experience, because obviously it's not something I'm usually used to. Like I've been in those situations, but I haven't actually been able to have the opportunity to actually run this whole event to do with the artist side, like along with another person. So it was like, for me, it was an experience. I felt there was a lot of skills that would be developed: communication, being on time, organization, all of this stuff, which are very important skills I was developing throughout those 2 days that I was there. And I met amazing people there, there's amazing artists with amazing talent, and it was just like, it was one of those experiences which was actually really cool to be able to have, being both on stage and off stage behind the scenes, and it was like one of those things which I hadn't actually done before. So for me it was one of those really cool experiences, and it brought a lot of insight, I guess, into like the live music and live events side of things. I think so far this one's been or is it just growing on me?
Maybe it's a grower.
Oh, I think it's a grower. I think it's a grower. Oh, it is a grower. It's a grower. It's a grower.
I got a question for you too. Last one, going through, man.
Bro, it's a grower.
In the pains.
I'm still eating.
Last Instagram deep dive right here. So we got the man himself, Jamal Edwards, man. Tell me about what he meant to you, what he meant to the community, and tell me about this photo. It's a grower.
Woo!
I feel it.
Woo! Oh my god.
All right, we're now past
the
middle ground, man. We got 5 of these boys left. We made it halfway there.
Oh my god, this is a grower.
Yeah?
This is a grower. I need tissue. Oh.
I'm going as long as I can before I start drinking some water. Does man need company?
Right.
Jamal Edwards. Like,
your face is sweating.
Yeah, I'm sweating, but I'm trying to stick it through.
Okay, I'm trying to concentrate right now. Okay, Jamal Edwards.
Yeah.
Now, Jamal Edwards was the founder of a music sharing platform called SBTV.
Yeah.
SBTV was practically a platform where artists would go and get them and do freestyles mainly, and literally just whether they're on the block with their friends or in the middle of the street or in a car, whatever it was a really like raw grime UK rap kind of a platform for artists to go. All the biggest artists right now are Santan Daves, the Ed Sheerans, all of those people, they were originally on SoapBox and like that kind of was one of the platforms that boosted them to where they are now, and so it was impactful. I like started watching SBTV like a couple years back. I was aware of it and I really liked it, and so this picture came along when my college, one of the members who works in my college was good friends of Jamal Edwards, and so he organised for us to have a visit from him. So he came in and he told us about his whole experience about growing up, like having his mum gave him a camera when he was like 10, if I'm correct. 10, 11, like, you know, like kind of early teen years, and you just going around filming, taking pictures, and then from there it just became a passion.
It's like you, man, like you're kind of born into it in a way, you know?
Exactly.
It grew and grew,
it just kind of grew, exactly.
Yeah.
So for him it was like, it was similar in that sense. He just enjoyed, it was a passion of his. He was going around filming people and he just enjoyed doing it. I think fast forward a couple weeks, I get the news. I remember I came home from football training, and my mum had told me that Jamal Edwards had died, and obviously,
right?
I was like, and obviously I just thought, I was like, you got it confused with someone else, and it was like, you know, I completely ignored it. Then I remember going in my room and then I just started scrolling through social media, and I just started seeing like reposts of like Jamal Edwards. So then I was like, whoa, okay, let me go check this out. And then I went and read the article that just confirmed he died of a heart attack. And I was like, I still remember like that whole day was really confusing for me, because it was like from going to literally being in the same room, speaking to him, you know, having been in touch with him via other people, and like we had a whole conversation. You know, he gave me his email, told me to like send over music and stuff. and he's as being a genuine guy. Like I even popped up to like his story on Instagram, like
Really?
he replied. It was like, it's one of them things that he was just a genuine person. So when I heard this, I was really confused. I didn't know how to feel. Like there was so many mixed emotions, and you know, it was just one of those, it was one of them hard hitting things, which was just really, it was confusing, but there wasn't really many answers at that time, and there still haven't really been, like now as we speak, you know. But I do remember then getting in touch with a videographer friend of mine called Louis Friedman, videographer and photographer, and we kind of came up with this idea of how to tribute him, and how to kind of, you know, make sure that he will be remembered, and he won't just be another young black entrepreneur that just dies and never gets spoken of again. So like we got together and we were like, oh, we should do a little something. So then I came up with this little like grime freestyle,
side by side, right?
Side by side freestyle, which was the first piece of content that I released on my YouTube channel. And it was like, for me, that was what, if I know that if Jamal saw that, and Jamal, he would have been proud, and he would have seen that work that went in, and the dedication, and even just the fun, and also the simplicity of the video. Like it was all, we all planned it. It was very simple, very like with one shot, no movement and stuff, and it was all because that was kind of how it was back in the day when he was going around with his camera. So I thought I'd kind of replicate that. I think the important thing was for that project, the side by side freestyle, was kind of to just get people to know who he was, what he did, how he impacted the whole of the UK industry, music industry, without most people even knowing. Definitely. Like the amount of young people he influenced without the young people even knowing, you know. So it was like, and you know, just rest in peace to a legend.
One thing that I kind of want to dive into is pulling the curtain back on practice, how you create music, how you practice on a daily basis. Something that I think every musician can relate to is that need to put work into your passion, into making music. So can you just briefly tell me about your process of practicing?
Practice.
Yeah.
I think right now, if we're talking, I'll start off with piano, for example. Piano scales.
All right.
I think that's my main thing at the moment, and I try to discipline myself as much. Sometimes I'll be honest with myself, and sometimes I'll do it once a week, twice a week. Other days I might feel a bit more not inspired, but I'd feel more eager to play scales and practice.
So you said you had lessons, right?
I had lessons back in the day.
Did you have that problem of your teacher would come and then an hour before you're scrambling?
And I'm like, oh shit, I haven't learned that piece. But I feel like with piano, with piano, with drums, percussion, stuff like that, I think I just got that. A bit of it's in me, a bit of it when I practice drums. There's a drum next door in my college, so I like to practice there and then vocals and rapping and songwriting and all this stuff, that just comes with the process.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, ways of practicing for me is it freestyling. So I'll wake up in the morning, or maybe when I get back from college or whatever, and I'll work, and I'll just slap on a beat in my room with my speakers, and I'll just straight off the dome, and just practicing getting words, understanding the end rhyming words, and being able to then apply that to freestyles, with trying to make it make sense as well, without trying to, you know.
A question on that then. So what gets you into that flow? Like what, there's like the common thing in terms of athletics or music, that flow state, right? That state where it's kind of like you forget time's passing in a way. When do you feel like you get into it?
I tend to thrive a lot in studio sessions, especially with other people, and there's other people in the room. So when I've got friends, other producers, other other vocalists,
when more people come together,
that's where, because the confidence comes out a bit more. I feel like that kind of side of me that just wants to not show off necessarily, but kind of, just do my thing. So I feel like that flow kind of pushes me.
It makes you not think as well.
Exactly, because I'm just enjoying I'm enjoying the moment. I'm not really thinking about, I need to write this lyric and it needs to make sense, and if it doesn't, then it's going to be a problem. But it's more like, just enjoy it, let it be, let things roll, and just, everything else is just Not a
I
problem.
get that. Something just to pull out like as a quick short. When you go into that practice room, what do you bring with you that you need every single time either you're practicing or you're making music?
A Logic Pro, absolutely, because Logic is what I use to produce, engineer, record on.
What about,
on my phone. On my phone,
yeah.
there's this app called Rhymer's Block, which I use, and that is where all my lyrics are. Oh, and obviously a producer, where I have studio sessions with one of my producers called Jared Miles once a week, every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Same way I have we have sessions with another two friends of mine, Matty and Will. They're DJs and producers. I have a session. We try and stick in a session every Thursday or Friday. So like just keeping that momentum going. Things like that really helps with the process. Yeah.
It's good. It's like a good sauce.
It's good. I can taste it at the tip of my tongue though.
So, we can't get through this without talking about Black Rose.
Yes.
So Black Rose, their debut single featuring Lushdoll, right?
Yeah.
That was production level. Grower, is a grower. What's it like recording in that type of studio? So take me behind the scenes, yeah? What's the recording process like? What was it like going into a studio like that?
So, Black Rose was recorded at Rugby Portobello, that youth club, which I first started making music at, Amplify Studios, and it was an experience.
Alright, finally we got a good one. Finally.
Okay, concentrate. Okay, so I'm answering the question.
Yeah.
What was it like?
The
recording
behind the scenes.
It was a process.
Yeah.
It was a year and a half, almost 2 year process.
Yeah.
A guy called Thomas Hoyer. So he came to me and he was like, "Hey, I just bought this film studio for £27 million.
Really?
Would you like to come and record a music video for Black Rose?" And obviously, first thing I said, yes, absolutely, of course. That's an amazing opportunity. So fast forward a couple months, I then went inside. I really liked the visuals. It was amazing. It was like a virtual production stage. I had a whole crew. The budget must have been like, if I had to pay for it, it'd probably been like 30, 40, maybe even 50k. Yeah, it literally just, that happened really naturally. That just happened and we just worked well together and the chemistry was there. So yeah, literally from one thing to another, we ended up having this video done. We had a whole team behind it to edit it and get it all done and sorted out. And then, and then literally it was about a year and a bit in total. A year and a half, almost 2 years went by with this process.
Who is someone that you're looking for to be like, I would love to work with them?
There's a couple people, I think. There's actually loads of people, but if we're talking at the moment, currently, and where my head's at, there's an artist called. There's two artists. There's one artist called Bawo, who is someone who I've been following for a while. I'd say a while now, and I'm good friends with his manager.
Yeah, it can't build on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, so
it can't build.
It's growing. It's
like
a grower. It's a grower. It's a grower. I'm telling you.
Woo!
And I'm feeling it now.
All right.
Oh,
Devin comes in.
Oh. So, I'm good friends with his manager, and it was like a thing where we've been meeting up a lot, and like recently he's been helping me with kind of music and stuff. And so Bawo, he's a really genuine guy.
Yeah.
He's mad talented. You know, he's kind of in that he's in that scene that I'm kind of interested in, and you know, I just feel like he'd be an amazing person to work with. Just get in the studio and just be able to just have his voice on track with me, and it's just something. It's a realistic goal. It's not like something like, oh, I wish. Like, it's just something that can happen, but it just needs the right time. But he'd definitely be someone I love to collab with, and I'm talking realistic. Another guy's Lewis Culture. He's kind of, again, like in the underground scene, quite young but coming up, and he's amazingly talented, and I love his creative direction and his like music videos. And him and Bao actually released a song called 7 AM recently. I really respect the grind of like those two, and I think it would be amazing to have both of them on one track.
playing music can often be a bit of a lonely journey, right?
Yeah.
But what I really admire about you is your ability to bring a community together around not only making music, but, you know, Jamal Edwards, making tributes, doing things within the community.
Whatever it is that I'm doing, I want you lot there. I want you lot to just, whether it's shows, whether it's video shoots, whether it's projects, whatever I've got filmed, whatever it is, I want you lot there. I want you lot to take part. I want you lot to there. You lot are my family at the end of the day, innit? Every single one of you, man. Honestly, like.
So how do you keep people connected? You know, what's your way that you make a community come behind not only music but different things you're passionate about?
I'd say social media.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously word of mouth
Yeah.
and face-to-face interactions with people, it's growing.
Yeah.
But I think social media plays a big role because as I said before, like I can reach that wider audience. With Side by Side, it was a thing where my aim was to show the authenticity and the rawness of of like that song and that specific freestyle.
Yeah.
It wasn't to be flashy. I wasn't to impress anyone. It wasn't to. It was there to represent what Jamal Edwards did, and also just be able to.
Yeah, really get the back throat, isn't it?
Oh my god, I can't even concentrate right now because it's just like it's hit the tip of the tongue as well, and it's hit the lips as well now, and it's like. But my aim was just to be able to just show who I am, and who's behind me, and as well my team, and who are hopefully going to be the people that I'm going to be coming up with. You know, or pretty much every person in that video is people that I've grown up with, I've known for a while, and who I've got a lot of love for. And so it was just a way, so it's one of them ways to just be able to express, and it was also expressing how I felt and expressing that cheekiness of me and that kind of audaciousness and you know, just kind of doing my thing. And so and obviously putting it out on you, it was my first ever video, my first ever, I edited it together with the videographer, and it was like, you know, it was one of those experiences like, well, I'm first time, and it's like you got to start somewhere.
Definitely.
You know, so I feel like that was the starting point, and now we're just going up, babe. You know, from here, from here we're just elevating daily, man.
EKO, Alessandro, for
pleasure.
coming to the show. It's been a pleasure. Like, you know, the resilience, the passion, the determination, everything about you kind of. You have a lot of charisma in terms of going for not only music, but charisma in terms of making it through these hot sauces.
Yes,
right?
yes. Listen, I did my best, man. I did my best. Yeah. I can't lie though, this last one was a boss.
Yeah,
bugger.
It grew.
Bugger.
It definitely grew.
Bugger, big bugger.
So, okay, you got a camera there, you got a camera behind me. You know, just tell people what's going on in your life, what they should go and see.
Yo, people, it's EKO here. So, if you're interested and you respect what I do and you're here to support, please go check out my Instagram at 1EKO_official. That's all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can also hit me up via email at ekomusic29@gmail.com. And feel free to get in touch. Feel free to keep supporting. Go listen to Black Rose. Go watch the music video and just stay posted, because this year we're not playing. Lots of love.